Hello, everyone, and I would like to welcome Paul Watts from Lenuity. And today we're asking the questions and what brings your attention to the conference? Like, what are you looking for here?
So I'm in the mortgage space, but here I get to see a lot of the what's going on with the payments and the crypto and blockchain side of stuff, which is always of interest because I'm not in that space, but I'm adjacent to that space.
Yeah. And a lot of things are happening. But what we discussed even before the shooting, that right now a lot of buzz is happening on the market side, but there is still the real needs that are happening on the industry. And what is your view, maybe from the mortgages perspective, what industry have done well or can do better the next year?
So I think what we've seen is steady innovation in the payments, very customer focused side of payments, whether it's international payments or just making life easier in terms of payments. And we don't see that in the mortgage side of things. So I think it's really important, right, to see what wins out in those spaces because it's highly competitive, all right? And it's like we get to watch the battle of what the consumer likes and then to bring that into mortgages for a better customer experience.
But the mortgages itself becoming more digitalized because I think at this stage we are more digital driven. Like you can collect the information online, you can provide better calculations and options for the customer. Is it true for the industry? Do you have any improvements over there by having the digital footprint and ability to onboard customers online?
I think for us as a new lender, we are very digital focused with clean data, and I think clean data is a struggle for most people, right? But it's a highly regulated environment, and clean data just makes your life easier. You're able to get better decisions. I think when you look at legacy organizations, when you look at certainly the mutual sector with challenges in upgrading their platforms, their infrastructure, because it's tight on OpEx, I can see that there's issues in that area. But if you look what wins out in terms of the technology, you can wait for the price to come down and they can fight the slow followers rather than fast followers. But I prefer to be at the front end of taking the winning customer experience on payments and applying that to mortgages.
That's definitely true. And what do you think the challenges for the industry in global will be the next year? Because we have a lot of changes that we see from the regulation standpoint, like the regulation is constantly improving and bringing sometimes in new challenges like with the MEI, with the new safeguard rules and some restructurization comes in FCA that we see this year. So what do you think from your perspective is the challenge for the mortgage industry next year?
Right. So I think that the number one overriding challenge is affordability.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Affordability is the number one thing. And what we're seeing from a regulatory point of view is attempts to address that by relaxing some of the restrictions. My perspective on this is that what we also have is a huge amount of waste.
Yeah.
Right? And so clean data is one of the ways that we can use to attack financial waste. When you talk across different industries with ESG, you hear talk about waste, but they talk about manufacturing waste. Right? What you don't hear about is financial waste. And financial waste comes across in higher payments because it's then priced into the product. A lack of understanding what you're dealing with, right? The issues you get. So how we're addressing waste is, remember, we are talking property. We're talking, and our property market in the UK has pretty much collapsed at the moment. And a big part of that is affordability. So we have house builders build homes and then they're sitting on them because they can't sell them. That is waste that needs to be priced into financing house builders to build homes. It makes it more expensive for them to build homes. Yeah, so you've got that feedback then. And then they discount those homes, which means from a lending point of view, you can't trust valuation, so you have to price into the discount in it. So we have a huge amount of froth, and that's like the froth you see at the Thames, where it's it's not the froth on a nice drink, it's the froth with toxic froth, right? And so I believe with better data,
Yeah.
right, and we can price that into products that make homes more affordable
Yeah.
by addressing waste in the process, right? Now, for a lot of people, that may it's quite technical, right? But in terms of customer experience, I'm talking about buying a home is like paying by check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about, what we're bringing, is the equivalent of Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Right
So-
here, right now.
Yes. And so getting rid of that waste now, the Apple Pay check, is just to give you an idea of the difference. In real world, we're talking instead of 3 to 5 months, days. So 14-day,
Yeah.
consistently delivering 14-day completion times. All right. This quick decisions. So you're 10 to 15 minutes, you've got a decision, and in 14 days, you've got the keys. So from application to home ownership in 14 days, I'm saying that's the equivalent of Apple Pay.
Yeah.
All right. But 3 to 5 months to own a home, that's like paying by check.
Okay, that's definitely true. And thank you for bringing up because the data flow, proper data collection, and good understanding how this data is actually influencing the business model is essential, not just for mortgages, but all the businesses. And I would not trust myself if I would not ask this question: is AI helping you? Because we see a lot of buzzwords in AI, agentic AI, and ability to crunch some data with a machine learning rather than doing the algorithmic. Is it something that mortgages is adopting, and do you have any good outcomes of those approaches?
Definitely, it's underpinning our fast decision making. But I would say when you talk AI, I'd like to give you two analogies. And the first one is like the statistics about the amount of people who are using ChatGPT for medical diagnosis is huge.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you have no medical experience versus a registrar at the hospital asking about the same medical condition, do you think they're going to get like the same information? Right. And so like the quality of your question and your ability to interpret the answer is really important. So people are, let me just apply AI to this. But if you don't have the expertise, if you don't have the clean data, then the results you get are dangerous. So I think there are great AI solutions out there, but do you have the quality data to implement them? And do you have the knowledge to understand the results and to ask the right question?
That's definitely true. I'm always using the saying, if you automate the chaos, you will get automated chaos. So in this case, the same is true for AI.
I
You don't understand what actually it means and how properly to use it, then you might be screwed. So thank you for the highlights, and thank you for the interview today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
It was a pleasure, Paul.